Hi guys, like I am super excited today and I'm feeling much better than the last time I was here. I did my hair and guys, it's giving me all kinds of vibes, but yeah, today I'm not talking about hair, just highlighted it. Anyways, this is simply my views and you're most welcome to the space. It's a safe space, safe place where we talk about things, okay? So today I'll be talking about the cost of mental health treatment in Namibia. I made a video on mental health, just the basics. I had a Dr. Satiropo. The video is still on my channel. You can feel free to check it out if you still need to refresh or you haven't seen it. Okay, so I got a lot of comments, people asking that they need to know the price of mental health. Okay, since I'm from Namibia, I only have the Namibian experience or knowledge on the treatment. Okay, like I said in that video, that I am living with a mental health diagnosis doesn't mean it will always be here, but as far as I'm concerned, I am on treatment, I'm on medication, I'm stable, and I'm living life just like anybody else. So please, no to stigma, to mental health. And with that said, I'd like to share where you can, okay, I already shared where you can get help regarding mental health, but I think people are scared because they don't know how much it's going to cost them, okay? Like the doctor said, treatment for mental health is very multidisciplinary. What does that mean? It means you don't just go to one doctor and you get treated, okay? And there are also different stages to treatment. And mental health in general. It doesn't mean everybody with anxiety, depression, or any other mental health diagnosis will need to go to the hospital and get treatment. Some of the things are there in our lives in very, moderate amounts, but if it exceeds the threshold, the person's threshold, then it becomes a medical concern, and that's when treatment should be considered. Um, often then other times it's not easy to actually tell. Like sometimes you just think you're okay. You're like, maybe let me give an example of, maybe you are a manic. Manic is like a part of bipolar disorder. It's also a mental health illness. And when you're manic, you're like talkative, super excited and all that. It can come out as your personality. Maybe this is just who you are, and then you don't know when it's, you know, getting serious and all that. But nonetheless, if you start getting worried or you are worried about your loved one, consider seeking help. It may not be the easiest step, but once you do it, you're gonna get help. So now, getting help and the price of getting help or treatment. I'll start with where you can get help for free. Like I said, multidisciplinary. Depending on the severity of your mental health condition, you probably need anyone from a psychiatrist, psychologist, and psychotherapist, even occupational therapist. Okay, like the psychiatrists are the doctors that have studied mental health in details, and they treat mental health patients. Okay, in the state there are in the state hospitals there are psychiatrists. Okay, and these are mostly that I know of are at two state hospitals. One in Windhoek Central Hospital. There's a psychiatry clinic there. Just I won't be able to describe because I don't know if everybody watching knows where even Central Hospital is. But if should you want to go there, you are more than welcome to just ask me where it is. You know, there's even a video with their contact numbers and all that. And as well as Oshakati State Hospital, they do have psychiatrists there. And if you need, for example, the psychiatrist will evaluate and recommend accordingly that, okay, maybe this patient needs counseling. Counseling can be offered also at those hospitals, and not just those hospitals. Counseling is kind of countrywide. Yeah, now it can be done by social workers or a psychologist at the hospital now, when it is being done in the hospital. And if you are working into the state, these services are free at the state hospital. Okay, So now, and then you have to go, you might need medication, of course, if you need to be stabilized and all those things. They come from a pharmacy. I know for sure that Central Hospital, Psychiatry, and Oshakati Hospital, they have pharmacy. You get to, you are dispensed for free of charge. You don't pay for those medication. If you have follow-up or pharmacy follow-up where you should go to get your medication, you just go. It's free of charge. But then for you to get there, you really need to have been diagnosed. Those steps, I'm not going to get in the details of it, but you wanted to know how much it will cost you to get treatment. So your best bet is the state. I know most of the people have really a lot of bad things to say about the state, but people are getting treatment from the state, okay? They are really doing a lot of great work there. And I'm personally one of those people, okay? And I will come to the private sector in a bit, and why I am actually being treated in a state hospital when I have medical aid that is supposed to access me treatment in the private sector. So with counseling, there are other, non-profit organizations that offer help. These are things like Red Cross Namibia. Red Cross almost have an office in every region. Not all, I know it's not all, but there's, if you know about a Red Cross office nearby you, feel free to go there. They really offer help. Okay, and like I said in one of the videos that I made, there's a short description about their contacts and all those things. But again, feel free to ask, because I won't be able to fit everything in this video. Okay, now if you are having access to private the private sector, like going to a private doctor for consultation, or or counseling, there are psychologists that are registered and having their practices, just like you go to a general practitioner, a doctor, where you go when you're feeling a cough or a headache. There is actually psychiatrists that are out there where you can go for your consultations with your mental health condition. Sometimes, like for me, the route I took, I went to a general doctor, a GP, and then they realized that this is beyond them, and then they referred me to a psychiatrist who has their own practice. Yeah? So the amount that I'll be mentioning doesn't mean everyone out there charges that, but I can rest assure you it's in the same amount, like range of prices, because there's actually a body that regulates the pricing in the health sector for people with private services. So at private, you don't always have to go to have medical aid to access it, but I think it's much cheaper when you have medical aid cover. But if you are also a person with just your own cash, you can go there. They won't turn you away, but there is the fee will be high. For example, I remember when I was getting psychiatric treatment in the private sector, it was costly. I think because my medical aid sent me a statement every time someone claims, it was around 2,000 something for a psychiatric appointment. And remember, that's for one psychiatric appointment, and your treatment is continuous. Like my treatment is continuous. I had to go there several times, and then the money got depleted from the medical aid, and I couldn't afford to pay cash anymore. So I just turned to the state. I am still getting treatment from the state. That's why I started with it and say it's your best bet, because money can really get finished. And mind you, this is just treatment for the mental condition. You may have other physical conditions that need attention. So if the make aid finishes, see, then you are there. Yeah. So I said that was just one appointment, 2,000 Namibian dollars. But then imagine if you have to go on a monthly basis. Some people, because how frequent you go is how frequent it's needed as per psychiatric evaluation, or how they are seeing you. When they see you, they're trying to monitor you if you're improving, if you need close close observation and those things. Because you have those people that are called outpatients, you just go in and out. You don't get admitted in a hospital. They say, okay, she's showing maybe stable symptoms, she doesn't need to come back. Or no, we started her on a new medication, we need to monitor how this is going on a weekly basis. So imagine paying $2,000 every week for a whole year, for example, because I've been on this for about 2 years now. How much money is that? That's why I tell you, mental health care is expensive in that sense. And when you trigger people and deliberately put them in those positions, you are really multiplying the problems they have, including their financial ones, because to get that treatment, it costs a lot of money. And even to get to the hospital, you need to have money either for cab or fuel, depending on where you are. That's why I really keep going on about mental health. I want people to understand it and know the facts about it. So that is at psychiatry. I haven't been to all the practices. That was my first practice, and I bounced out because I couldn't afford it. And then there are a couple of psychiatrists. And also remember why it's expensive. These are specialists, people that have specialized in that field, and there are not that many. As soon as I became aware of my condition, I've been following the health sector so closely that during COVID, there was reported, when COVID just hit our country, there was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of things that people are not sure of, people losing their jobs. So the need for mental health care was on the rise. There was a speech on, that COVID section. They always come and give some information to learn that there is less than 10 qualified psychiatrists in Namibia. And I think only half of those are in the state, and the rest are having their private practices, which you have to pay money, really a certain amount of money. Then that is psychiatry. These are now the specialists. Now I tell you, you may not end at the psychiatry. You can, but sometimes you might need people to just, you might need someone to listen professionally and help you through your emotions, processing a lot of things, like even just accepting that you have a mental health condition in a society that constantly shames people. There's so much stigma. It can be difficult. And that's why you get people are afraid if they talk, they might be discriminated against. There is a law that protects you against that kind of discrimination, because as long as you are able to perform whatever needs to be performed, there's absolutely no reason for you to be discriminated against, okay? So on to the psychologists. Psychologists, just like psychiatrists, they have their flat rates for charging per session, and it's unlikely that you will get help, complete help, within one session. So one session at my psychologist cost about 1,000 Namibian, or 1,100 Namibian dollars, okay? There are others that are probably below that or above that, but I do not know. That's what I'm saying. I'm only sharing what I know. But these are figures that you guys asked. If it's a cost, it has to have an amount attached to it. This is in the private sector. Now I've seen that there's even people volunteering to just listen to others. You can call Childline, Helpline. I think when you want to talk about domestic and gender-based violence and all these things, there's a lot of foundations. There's even a mental health hotline for Namibia, which you can call for free, I think, every day from 8 to 10 p.m., free of charge. So again, if you can afford the private, you can go to the private. There are benefits that comes with being treated in private. There are also cost implications, okay? If you really can't, just know there is help, that you don't necessarily have to pay for it. That is the cost for now. The two disciplines that are involved, which is psychiatry and psychology. Now, you might, if you work, these things can affect your ability to perform your work. Or even if you don't work yet, and they anticipate that your condition may affect areas of employability and those things, they may refer you to something called occupational therapist, where if you are a certain occupation, let me give an example outside of mental health. For example, if you maybe was a swimmer and then you lose both your limbs, like your arms and legs, that means you might not be able to swim anymore. So you need to go to someone to walk you through that path of accepting that you're no longer going to be able to do what you do best and all those things. And those are people called occupational therapists. They may be well involved in their mental health treatment, because mental health treatment, just like with physical health issues, can really affect someone's ability to work. That's why I think the notion that people are expected to show up, whether it's in their personal life, professional lives, or academic lives, or whatever lives, while they are dealing with these things, I think is not practical, and it may affect the performance of people. So, occupational therapist, I haven't been to occupational therapy, and I do not know the price, but yeah, I think you get the feel of how much money is needed there, and when there's no money needed. Okay, private sector, you need money. Public sector, our Ministry of Health, you need almost no amount of money, unless just that some hospital they charge 8 Namibian dollars, 10, 15 Namibian dollars, 20 Namibian dollars for the stamp. That's it. If you're having that green passport or the pink passport for the public, or yeah, to be treated in a state, guys. Okay, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. But that's it from me for now. And if you need specific, I will really need to go do research if you want more information than this. And it's still October, Mental Health Month to me, and I think everybody. Let's continue being kind. Let's seek help if you need help. I know people are volunteering out there, like your friends or your contacts. They are posting so much on their social media that, yeah, if you need someone to talk to me. But I have realized that some of those people really don't understand or cannot comprehend the implications that come with those situations. 1 minute they're telling you open up, they're here for you. You open up, and then they lash back at you, or they tell you are being unreasonable and all this. I'm not saying everybody does this, but it's a trend I've seen, because I've also tried. I do need to talk to someone sometimes, and then they just do that, and then I realize I'm better off at a professional. So I'm going to emphasize on seeking professional help. People that went through the system to really understand emotions, where they come from, how they can be dealt with, and all those things. I send you all the love and light you need in your situations. It may not be enough, but please don't stop the fight. Keep going on, and you're gonna make it, okay? You're gonna be okay. And it's goodbye from me. See you guys next time.